Today's guest, Ruby. I'm going to introduce you as Ruby Rides.
And I remember just literally practicing every single day in any weather. The sport, I think it lacks inclusivity.
And my instructor was like, pull over! Like screaming at me. Honestly, it was ridiculous.
You self-doubt yourself a lot as a woman, but actually the best thing about being a female biker is you break stereotypes for women. I was so nervous, not only about taking the bike on track, being a new rider. I knew that there would be no other women. I was so determined to just really kind of master it because I knew that it gave me that feeling being on two wheels. I just really enjoyed it. He clearly didn't like it, but he
Majorly.
Like, he said, "You're going for it, aren't you?" I said, "Why did you assume I wouldn't be going for it?" I was drowning in anxiety.
Just because,
every single day I was waking up to stuff. So you learn how to push yourself, pushing the limits.
Yeah, pushing the limits.
Pushing the limits of the bike.
Boom, Danny hit that. What a ride this is, and it is on.
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Pushing the Limit podcast with me, Danny Buchan. Today's guest, Ruby. I'm going to introduce you as Ruby Rides.
That's fine. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I know you had a bit of a stressful journey getting here.
Yeah, it's just London, the roads and closures everywhere.
I thought that you'd just literally be like, oh yeah, setting off, like nice and fine. And then you just get to London and you just have this instant like anger about being here. Because I know that it's quite all right though getting through the traffic on the bike.
It's okay. I mean, I came on the H2 today. It's not the most agile bike for traffic.
No.
But I've got issues with my two other bikes, so I decided to go for the H2.
Just go in the garage, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's quite cool actually, because that bike is a weapon. And with the aero package, how many years? Because we're all starting like in racing now to like get into this like aero situation, but that's been around for a few years now, isn't it, on the H2?
Yeah, I think the H2 is probably one of the first bikes that had that kind of introduced having wings and upper wings, bottom wings, and now everyone's doing it.
I know, literally, we've got like on the new BMW, the wing, like you can actually really visibly tell now when you've got it on, you know, like whereas the last ones, like last year, you couldn't really tell as much.
Feel the difference.
Yeah, it was quite different. But the bike's crazy, isn't it? Like I've seen, guys, you obviously might, if you haven't, check out Ruby's social media. Obviously, the content on there is mad, but the bike stuff, why motorbikes? Like, where did that come from for you? Did you like grow up around bikes?
No, actually, I come from a family who have no interest in bikes at all. But saying that, my brothers taught me how to drive when I was like 12, 13.
Mega. Love that.
So I could drive at 13. And I guess I just always loved anything with an engine. I really appreciated like cars, and I always appreciated bikes, but actually getting into it, it was a funny story because I was just browsing some newspaper and there was a massive picture of Marc Marquez. That was like back in 2013, so around 10 years ago. And there was a massive picture of Marc Marquez leaning his bike on his RC 213.
Yeah, with his elbow absolutely dug in the tarmac.
It. And I was like, what is this? I'd love to do that. What's this about? And I Googled how to get a bike license and I just started there. That's
mad, yeah. So you're Marc Marquez inspired.
Definitely. And I actually became a Marc Marquez fan for a while. To this day.
Yeah, same.
My first 5 bikes were Repsol Hondas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had the CBR 125, 2 of them. And then I had the 600RR, 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the Fireblade. And they were all Repsol. That's
funny, isn't it? They are. Did you have 93 on them? Yeah. Yeah. Full. Did you have Marquez crash helmet?
Yeah, I did.
What about levers?
No, not
because I think if you go down to boots, then that's serious fan. That's like because you see that, don't you? People were literally like full head to toe.
Yeah, but the bike was Repsol. I had the Ant helmet.
Yeah, nice.
But I never went for the full leather.
So all showy, all showy helmets.
At the moment,
or were they? They were at the time.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know now you wear the Ruroc helmet, don't you? Because I see Taylor doing some stuff as well.
Yes, yeah.
With Ruroc. Ruroc, is that
Ruroc, yeah.
Ruroc.
They're a road helmet, and they are a British company.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and let's talk about, so you've just like busted on the scene then, 2013, started riding the 125.
Yeah.
Did you get your knee down on it?
No.
No, that's good. My first ever experience of riding a bike on a I was motocross background, and then I come to short circuit, and my first ever experience was on a CBR 125 at Donington Park. And I know the Ron
125
Haslam, the Ron Haslam days.
I didn't know they ran the 125 as well.
They used to years ago, and it was limited to 65 mile an hour.
Yeah.
It was the most fun. Like, I literally had I would have looked like the ultimate goon rider. Like, I had my levers, where I was a bit chubby, my levers were too tight and they'd like popped the zip open. I had this clear visor on, probably pulled down to my face, was just in full view. And there was just this like little fat kid that was just having the time of my life. And that's where I decided then to start racing. But it was all from a CBR 125.
Amazing. How was that at Donington? Because Donington is such a vast track.
Just like top gear, just couldn't really roll off pretty much the whole lap.
Maxed out everywhere.
Just 65 mile. I just remember seeing the 65 on the dash and thinking, oh my God, I'm going so fast. But like 65 now. Like,
at 100.
Yeah, I know. It's like any speed. Like, I was on a track day in Almeria the other day for like BMW conference, BMW event, sorry, not a conference. And I was just riding at 100 mile an hour and I was like, I'm so switched off right now. Like, it's so easy on a track to get complacent, isn't it? Like, on the road, obviously, you've got to be switched on because so many people are unaware of bikes,
especially in London.
Yes, especially.
I mean,
in
they're
London.
aware of peds and bikes, but everyone does whatever they want in London.
Is that why you got the straight through exhaust? Yeah, or the DCAT on that H2.
DCAT Austin Racing, yeah. That actually has saved my life a few times.
I bet it has.
Honestly.
I bet you've like moved cars out of the way with that.
Yeah, but not just that, just warning people not to cross or warning
Yeah,
cars not to pull out.
Yeah, that video, I looked on your social media the other day, the video of the people pulling up beside you. Oh, and that guy on that little bike is like, oh, is that Ruby? Oh, Ruby. Yeah, so
that was
funny.
on that Aprilia.
The fan love you get.
That was
it's
in
cool,
London
isn't it?
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet people that, like he said, I think he said in the video, but you couldn't hear it, but he messaged me after and he said, I was saying that you're the reason I got my XSR 125.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
And that really kind of meant a lot to me. Like when people say, oh, you're the reason I got my dream bike or I got a bike license or booked my CBT. And that's quite nice.
Well, I think it's quite a nice thing to do because I think people, when they look, most people these days have got social media, haven't they? And when there's somebody like yourself who's portraying that, like, you can go out and do this, like, you're not limited by who you are, what you can afford, like, go and do it. Like, I think that's such a big message. And is that something that you are like quite passionate about, like yourself?
100%. I think the sport, I think it lacks inclusivity.
100%, yeah.
A lot. You know, especially when I first started, I felt like being relatively young at the time, being a woman, being an ethnic minority, I didn't see anyone that kind of represented that.
Yeah.
And it can be a very friendly and a welcoming industry, but it's also, it lacks inclusivity and it lacks that kind of, you know, everyone's welcome. It's, you know, even I remember when I first started booking my tests and it was just, it's not the most accessible thing to the average person that knows nothing about bikes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like knowing just simple things like mod 1, mod 2, you know, if you're under 25, you're restricted. I just found it all really kind of confusing compared to, like, say, a car license. It's so easy to know what to do.
You literally know, I've just got to do my lessons, do my theory, do my test. And you can actually talk me through it then, because I don't actually know how to do my bike license. I'm sure BMW would chuck me at it straight away just for content of watching me fail epically. But I don't actually know. So where do you actually start? And
They've got a really good program, BMW.
Can I still fail at it?
Huh?
Can I still fail if I do it?
Well, it depends.
Exactly. I really worry. I nearly failed my CBT.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you that story because I'm slightly embarrassed, but I did nearly fail my CBT.
Really?
I basically broke the ultimate rule, and the guy was like, mate, I should fail you for that. And I was like, but I'm a competent rider, I'm safe, aren't I? But I literally wasn't.
You're definitely competent.
I literally just drove head on down a one-way, thinking it was like a two-way. I thought it was a one-way road and sort of like veered off. And then there was oncoming traffic, and my instructor was like, pull over! Like screaming at me. Honestly, it was ridiculous.
Sorry.
I was like, how many people have nearly failed their CBT?
Yeah. Well, the CBT is meant to be not like a fail or pass. But
Exactly.
you basically do a CBT, you do your mod 1, you do your you do mod 2, but sorry, you do your theory as well with the CBT after the CBT if you want to do the big license. But if you're younger than 25, then you have to. So if you do CBT, theory, mod 1, mod 2, your license only restricted to I think 47 brake horsepower. So you can't get a bike that is that has that much power, or you can, but you restrict it. You have to restrict the bike. And then if you're above 25, so you're 25 and you want to unrestrict your license, guess what? You have to redo everything. Except the CVC.
Gosh. I literally have not got round to it yet.
Yeah,
like,
you should do it.
I know I should do it, because even like bike events, like just even like with sponsors and people like that, it's quite a cool thing to go and do like a bike event or things like that. But yeah, like you said about the inclusivity of the sport, like it's mad, isn't it? Like I feel like the last, I don't know really, like if I'd say 10 years, but definitely the last 5 years, I've like you seeing a massive shift. If you talked about like women's football, I'm not a football fan, but I know that there's been a huge uproar in the last few years really about the football and the cycling as well. And I think as time goes on now, like it's so much more empowering for women. Like I've got a daughter, so we're all like women power. I think as the years go on, it's only going to get stronger. And I think like ladies such as yourself that are like, look, yes, I'm female. Yes, I've got my bike license. Yes, I've got a powerful bike. Like you can go and do that. Like don't feel like you can't.
But it's the I think the issue is why should it be like, if you're a woman, if you're, I guess, feminine, you know, why should that clash with anything to do with riding ability or skill? And I've literally on daily basis, I get comments and like interactions with people where they're like, is this yours? Like you just literally saw me get off the bike. Yeah. How are you asking if that's mine? Yeah. Like, is that your boyfriend's? Yeah. Can you handle it? Yeah. Oh, you ride well for a girl, you know.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Genitalia has nothing to do with the ability to handle the bike. No. I always say we ride the bike with our hands, nothing else. Right?
And you need a bit of brain. Huh? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've seen your nuts, mate. I've seen your social media. You take your brain out, just leave it side of the road.
Yeah. No. Do you know what I think as well? Going back to inclusivity, the number of women. Like I think the percentage of women who ride bikes in the UK is about 5%, 5 to 7%, right? Yeah. But apparently it's growing more and more now. Yeah. And especially in the last, as you said, 5 years. But you only have to go back in time, back to 2006, 2007, and see how the bike shows were at the time. On YouTube, you can see, I'm not going to mention the bike show, but a really well-known bike show. And you can see how women were represented then. Not only, I'm not talking about promo girls, you know, there was a lot of that, you know, with skimpy clothing, whatever. Yeah. But there was a section of the show where men can go and get a striptease.
Shut up.
Stripped up, yeah. Imagine, but it's the organizer of the show.
I was only 13 then. Huh? I was only 13 then.
Yeah, I was young as well. Yeah. But you only, I'm not going to speak
No, but that is literally mental, yeah.
But you know what it is? Like, if that's how women have been represented in the bike industry for donkey's years.
Talk about promoting men and like not doing anything about women. Yeah, come and get a lap dance, mate.
But that's why women would feel, coming to the sport, would feel like, you know, that kind of, we're a little bit, are we inferior? Are we meant to do this? Yeah. You self-doubt yourself a lot as a woman. But actually, the best thing about being a female biker is you break stereotypes for women. Yeah. For young women, for young people in general, and for women and for ethnic minorities as well, because there's not really many ethnic minorities in the sport either. Yeah. So I think the sport is for everyone, and that's what I believe. So I like to kind of make it inviting and show people that whatever your background is,
you can
there's
come
something
and do
for
it.
everyone.
Yeah, and even come and do it. And not even just talking about competing in sport. Like if you look now through the MotoGP paddock, like the amount of women that are involved in, let's say, the data and electronics, the stuff behind the scenes that no one sees. Like
even BSB.
Yeah, like even BSB. But it's kind of having a real big shift now where there's a lot of women coming and getting involved. And like even, I think 2016, there was a female mechanic in our garage, and it was like
amazing.
Yeah, but I think she was the only one, let's say, up and down the garages. But it's like women can do this. Like women, like you can do this. Like you're not just not allowed to do it because it's a spanner. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm useless on the tools. I am hopeless on the tools. But it's like and I think there's this big shift now, isn't there? And I think especially with the racing as well. Like obviously you're seeing in British Championship now, like you've got Faye Ho who's running the team, and then you've got all the support she's sort of bringing forward, and the events, like that Honda event that I saw you attended, was it last year or a couple?
Yeah, women in moto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just a massive shift, and I think it's women like yourselves who are like sort of like sticking the finger up to society and going, look, we can do this. Like, why aren't we doing this? Come on, girls. Like
100%. I've always been like passionate about the sport, but also because I find so much joy and enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
I want other people, especially women, to experience it, and it's such like a confidence boost for a woman or a man as well to get on a bike and master sport and constantly kind of aiming to achieve more and be a better rider. And that's what I love about the sport. It's never ending, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's so many. That's what I mean. There's so many like. If you called it a milestone, it wouldn't be fair. But there's so many like small. I'm going to call them milestones in riding, isn't there? There's like if you go and do your first track day, there's like getting the right lines, getting the right braking markers. Then there's your knee all of a sudden going down, and then there's like your lap time improving, and it's such a. It's mad, isn't it? Have you took the H2 on a track yet?
I have, yeah. So I've taken all my bikes on track. I took the H2 twice to Donington Park.
Is that your favourite?
It is my favourite, and I wanted a larger circuit for the H2.
Yeah. Do you want to run that around like Knockhill? Or like, is it tight?
I've never done Knockhill. Is it quite tight?
Cool, yeah. It's cool, but it's really like nadgery. And I think you'd probably probably like a 70% chance you'll take off over the start finish on it, because the start finish is like we sort of get a little bit of airtime anyway on our bikes.
Yeah.
You start winding that thing up, you're gonna just take off, especially with the wings.
Well, with the H2, it's got a longer wheelbase than most road bikes, and it's 240 kgs. Yeah. So bulky and heavy, and
you've just ruined my quiz, by the way. That was one of my quiz questions. You just ruined it.
Okay,
I'll ruined my quiz now.
What was the quiz?
I can't tell you now because you've just answered it.
Okay, go on, start it.
No, I can't do the quiz now. I'm gonna have to do it later now. I'm gonna have to push it back. We'll finish off though. Yeah, Donington.
Yeah,
so it's heavy.
Yeah, but it's got a long wheelbase. Yeah. It's bulky. It's more of a straight line bike. You know, it's not really nimble around corners. You know, so I was kind of passing bikes on the straights and then corners coming. Oh my God.
Yeah, braking really early, like, save me.
Don't break the carbon wings.
Yeah.
But I loved it regardless. I managed to get my knee down on Craner curves.
Yeah. How's that going down? This mad bit of track, isn't it?
But I love that bit.
It just flows, doesn't it? So the whole track just flows so nicely though, doesn't it?
I love Donington Park. And actually the first time I ever got my knee down on track, not on the road, was at Donington Park with Steve Brogan. He was coaching me, and I was on my HP4.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
What a lovely circuit! What a lovely bike.
Nice weather as well, was it?
It was good weather.
That's even better than, isn't it? Because if you go there and it's wet and you just think, like, well, actually now they've resurfaced the whole circuit.
At Donington?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
wow,
literally,
I didn't know that.
The other day we went for a test day there, and it was literally like brand new surface. I never got to ride it because it was really cold. Oh no, I got to ride a couple of laps, but it was cold.
How did it feel with the tarmac?
So smooth. Honestly, it was ridiculous. Like before, there's so many bumps. It's quite a bumpy circuit. Now it'd be like riding on this like table. It was genuinely stupidly smooth.
But grippy as well.
So grippy. And even in the rain, it was really nice.
Really? Wow.
There was an old
Imagine
rumour.
in the dry.
I know, yeah. There was an old rumour that because of the planes taking off, they reckon that like the excess fuel used
from the planes.
Yeah, there was like
I've heard that.
It might be factual.
I think Brogan told me that actually.
It might be factual. It might just be an old wives' tale. I don't know.
But it does make sense because you do get like how many planes an hour?
I know.
Passing above you.
I know. If you sleep there like at the circuit at night before, obviously on a race weekend, it's the worst.
You can smell it.
You just feel like the plane's going to crash into your motorhome. You're like, what's that noise? Oh, it's a plane. But I am really would like to see, I don't know about you, but like in motocross years ago, they used to do like literally like girls' nationals, like where it was only for females to ride. My sister, think she finished third in the girls' nationals.
Cool.
Motocross, I know. And motocross used to be quite like more open to females coming and competing. And I know we've got quite a few now in the championship, but what would you say like to a girls' only championship? Like pick a bike, like if you could just pick a bike and just say, right, we're going to have a championship. We could just have girls just absolutely going at it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, for me,
like, would you like to see something like that in the future?
Yeah, but you said that that's happening already.
No, I know. I don't know if it is. No.
Oh, I don't think I've heard. I know, like, you've got, like in Formula One, they've got W Series for women. I think what I love about the sport, the bike, the bike industry is that when you're competing, you're not separating gender.
Yeah.
Right? Like
That's what I was actually, when I asked that question, I was thinking that, yeah.
Moto 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anna Carrasco, Moto 3.
Carrasco,
Yeah.
exactly. And we have British racers like Jenny Tinmouth and Maria Costella.
Yeah.
And they competed against men. So, yes, I do think, having like ladies only track days and ladies only events and things like that, just to kind of encourage women to, because it is daunting. The first time you go on track, I remember on my first 600, I was like really, really crapping myself.
Yeah.
I was so nervous, not only about taking the bike on track, being a new rider, and I knew that there would be no other women, and it was absolutely fine. The track day was absolutely fine. I had such a blast, but it is daunting for for newcomers to the sport and for women to do a track day.
Yeah.
So having that kind of facility where it's all women, you're more than welcome to join. And some of the instructors are women as well, or some of the instructors are men. So we had there was the Maria Costella track day at Silverstone, and she was one of the instructors. Jenny Tinmouth as well coaches at James Whittam track days, or used to at least. But that is a great way to include women in the sport. But I would love to just see women competing against men, just like they do in Moto2 and BSB. So like the W series, I would have just loved to see the racers, the female racers
get the same chance.
Some of them were good enough as well.
Yeah, and get the same chance. Yeah, because I got in 2007, I think, or 2008, a girl won. So Stephanie, her name was. She won the Super Team Championship.
Oh wow!
Yeah, in 2000. Can't remember what year it would have been now. 2008, maybe 2007. And she went on to do obviously quite good things in like the lower category, like the junior, like the Moto 3 Championship, or I think it would have been the 125s when she did that. But yeah, like you say, having that just all going out there and not separating people and being like, oh this is that and that's that.
We've got even like Jodie Fieldhouse in BSB and Charlotte, and there's a lot of young racers.
There's a lot actually, isn't there? When you actually look through the different groups as well, and there's that new championship, the F900 Championship. I haven't seen the entry list.
BMW, I've seen that.
If you honestly get to have a go, please go and ride one of them bikes.
Are they fun?
Because I tell you now, you'll ride one and you'll race it. Like I guarantee you'll go and do a race. If you get the opportunity to race, please have a go.
You would never think that would become a track bike. Like
no, but it's so much fun. It's obviously underpowered and it's not got a lot of power, but it's very equal in the way you have to be. I don't know how they're going to race them, because you're going to have to like be really witty about how you race.
Did
Probably
you
aggressive.
ride it on track?
I had to go on track day, and it was fun.
Was it fun?
I was getting beaten in a straight line by a few thousands, but they brake and you're still full gas, even if you need to touch the brake. But I swear down, you need to, if you get the opportunity, please go and race it. Like even just do like a wild card weekend, because you'll have the time of your life.
Yeah.
And it's obviously it's kind of like a supercross format, I think now. They've got like heat races and stuff in it. Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't actually seen fully. I'm talking here like I really know what's going on in that championship, but I don't. There's like, it's like formatted, I think, so like knockout stages until like a final race.
Oh, right, cool.
But if you get the chance.
Yeah. It's like, I've never ridden the F900. I've always wanted to ride it anyway.
Yeah. Especially on track, it was fun anyway.
I guess is it like a bit the CB 500 back in the day?
Yeah, I never ridden one of them, but it's really funny because it sounds really talky and mean, but then it's like nice and not a lot of power. Which sounds, I don't know if I'm really doing it justice, but it is actually quite a cool bike to ride. So
I guess it's a bike that size is a good size to learn how to ride track.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, that's. I think it'd be a good bike for anyone to get on. Just whether you was like 16 years old, like I think you're allowed to ride a bigger bike when I was 16. Don't know, like on tracks. Don't know.
On track.
It was when I first started. You had to be 16 to ride a 600.
If you have a race license, you can ACU license.
Yeah. And so, do you drive a car? Do you have a car? Yeah. So you have a car? Yeah. I thought you was going to say no.
No,
on bikes, mate, through and through.
No, I've been driving for much longer than I've been riding.
Yeah.
So I started driving when I was really young. Remember when I said I started at 30? Like I could drive a car. Yeah. No, I could drive as soon as I could get a car. I started driving on
the road. And did you ever think starting out on the bikes you'd ever be doing it as like your job, like your career?
Absolutely not.
That's because that's quite funny, isn't it? That you're like,
That is funny.
you've kind of fell into that
If
role.
you saw me when I was learning how to ride a 125,
Was it?
listen. When I tell you the first, I used to take the bike every day just to kind of, in any weather, just to kind of like build the confidence. As soon as I passed my CBT, I started taking the bike out on my own. I didn't know any bikers. But when I tell you that I rode that bike like I drove a car. So imagine you're at a junction and you're in fifth gear. I just thought, tap it once down and it'll go
So
to
fourth gear, you just be like fourth.
I was stalling at every junction. I had people shouting at me.
You're like, just leave me, give me 5.
I was so determined to just really kind of master it because I knew that it gave me that feeling being on 2 wheels. I just really enjoyed it. And I remember just literally practicing every single day in any weather, sleet, snow, rain, any weather. I was literally riding my 125 everywhere, every single day.
Just get that experience. Yeah.
And that built up my confidence to get my big license and the big bikes. Yeah.
And now you're an absolute hooligan.
Yeah.
That's actually the term I'm going to use now because I've seen your videos. You're not scared of it, are you?
It's funny you call me a hooligan because coming from a professional racer, like that's just like, wow, really?
Yeah, yeah, nice one, mate. Yeah. Well done. You're not a hooligan, are you? Ours is a controlled environment. We're controlled. Everyone's calm. Yeah. Everyone's going the same way. It's nice and I wouldn't say it's in control very much. It is. We try to be in control.
Yeah, but still the competition is fierce.
So fierce. When it's like
unbelievable.
The time difference. Like this weekend is the first round at Silverstone. Like the difference between like first place and 20th, there'll be like half a second. And it's like half of a second to like, and it's mad, isn't it? But
the track atmosphere makes me more nervous on the road.
What, just because I think, probably does as well, me, because people get to this track and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm safe, I can crash, I'm going to get my knee down, I'm going to be in the advanced group, I don't want to be in the middle group. And it's like, there's this big like ego, bravado.
Massive.
I'm top boy, I'm going to, it's like, I feel that when I go to track days, I feel that from people around me. I'm like.
And it's competition. Yeah, mate. And they want to kind of, people ask you, what time did you get?
Yeah, what group you, mate? Yeah. What group you, mate? Novice. All right, mate, no worries.
Do you know what? The track atmosphere is funny as well because the amount of times me or my friends have had comments like, I remember my first track day on a liter bike was on my Fireblade, and it was 2013 model, so it didn't have ABS or traction or anything, and it was at Mallory Park actually, and it was hammering it down. You know when it's torrential rain. Right, and I was like, well, this is my first track day on a liter.
Double keen, like well happy,
But this guy passed my bike, looked at me up and down. He's like, make sure you keep the bright side up, as in don't crash. I was like, I'll try. Don't worry, mate. I'll try. I had road tyres. He had an Aprilia RS4, and he had wet tyres, fully tracked Aprilia. Mine was just road. And round Gerrard's, in a hammering rain, I just passed him.
Rode round him?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I still got a picture as well.
What did he say?
So he come back. He clearly didn't like it, but he come back.
Majorly.
Like, he said, "You're going for it, aren't you?" I said, "Why did you assume I wouldn't be going for it? It's why I'm here."
And that's one of the questions. So you probably had to deal with that sort of shit like the whole way through your we'll call it your career because it is your career. Like all the way through your career in motorbikes, you probably had to deal with that, haven't you? Like negative comments or like I'd just kill him with kindness. But like, thanks. Around the outside of
kindness. And I used to be a bit more feisty and a little bit more reactive because I was just shocked at how
couldn't believe it.
Some of the comments were just like, you would never ask a man the questions that's like these people that ask us the questions or make these comments, they would never ask a bloke these questions ever. Because it sounds so stupid.
You wouldn't go part. You wouldn't go part. Can you handle that? Like,
or you ride well for a bloke. You know that's such a reoccurrent comment that me and my female friends get on daily basis. But to start with, I guess it was much more frequent, and I guess now that kind of I didn't prove myself, but I'm kind of, people can see that I'm serious about the sport and that I can like handle a bike all right. So I don't get it as much, but out and about, you know, you do get a lot of sexist. Some of them are quite disgusting, actually. And some of the stuff on social media is shocking.
100%, because they're hidden behind their keyboards, aren't they? But that'll be a person that you'll probably see and oh, you're right, Ruby, how you doing? Can I have a picture? That is like that. We actually such
funny,
a big part of this. Yeah, like the podcast is like the online bullying. Like I was just saying to Taryn, like there's such a huge amount of good people in the sport, and there's that small minority of just arseholes, isn't there? That you just think. You don't really like bikes, do you? Like, why are you involved? Like, you're just here for the hate, and it's like
that's so true.
Okay, you probably get that in all sports, but
yeah, but I think there's something about the bike industry where the general mentality is ancient, is stuck in its ways, big time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The average age of a biker is 55 in the UK.
That's mad, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of old-fashioned mentality is still very much existent in the sport, and I feel like you can't really win as well, because when I was on a 125, I got criticised for not being able to handle a big bike. I got a big bike, you don't need that on the road.
Got a H2.
You got it's too
What's
much.
next?
Huh?
What can you go? You can't go any bigger than a H2.
Yeah, but you can't win with
No,
people.
you can't.
People have had criticism. Oh, she never works on her bikes. I'm not very mechanically minded, so I did a maintenance video of me doing the chain, the tyres, with help of a mechanic.
As well to you.
I got,
That was one of my questions, just on the podcast in general. Are you hands-on? But you're answering it. Perfect.
Yeah. So I like to learn, and I can do basic things, but I'm just not. Some of the best racers in the world and riders, they don't work on their bikes. You don't have to be everything. I never claimed to be a mechanic. You know what I mean?
Useless on the tools.
Are you?
I'm a hazard to myself, and genuinely, I am literally so shit on the tools. If I go to a track day, I am literally like, oh, someone come and help me. My wheels I'm struggling to change them here. Like, somebody come and help me. And I make sure I position myself in a garage with a load of people around me, and then I get help. Because genuinely speaking, I can change wheels and that, but I'm not very mechanically minded. But it goes back to being needing to. And like you said, like I'm sure if someone said to you, change the oil on your bike or do your tyre pressures, if that's what you need to do, exactly.
Yeah.
But can you service an engine? No. Why do I need to? I'll pay a mechanic to do it.
I've changed an oil filter, yes. You know?
I haven't.
Yeah, I have on my Fireblade.
Don't have to do that.
A couple of times. But, so my point is that you can't win with people, because when I posted these videos, people are like, oh, you shouldn't hold the spanner that way. I wouldn't trust you near my bike. And I'm like, mate, I don't want to work on your bike.
I'll be like, I'm trying to hold it. I don't understand this, mate.
I don't know. Just
I
little
don't
things.
even know.
But when you're on social media, you kind of automatically expose yourself to everyone, and everyone has an opinion, and you kind of something that you have to deal with. But I'm not going to lie to you, Danny. Like, at one point, a couple of years ago, it was COVID time. I think everyone was depressed in COVID time. They were taking it out on everyone else.
Just you posting like positive stuff, absolutely getting ripped for it, sure.
Yeah, but listen, I was posting positive stuff because it was a negative time for everyone.
Majorly.
But inside, I was feeling like there was times when I was, what's the word? Paralysed? No, not paralysed. What's the word when you can't move?
Paralysis? I know. You're asking me now. I race motorbikes because I couldn't do anything else.
You know when you can't move?
Yeah, you're just like stuck, yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck. I was drowning in anxiety.
Just because,
every single day I was waking up to stuff. It made
like
me
thinking, I don't want to be on this social media anymore.
I had to at one point I remember just having to get medical help, you know. It was horrible. And I think, like you said, people on social media hide behind keyboards, and I've kind of passed that stage of kind of feeling anxious every time I get negativity, you know. I've grown thick skin now. But it's sad that some people have to kind of project their insecurities on other people. Yeah. Because we're just here to ride bikes, right?
And to just open a door for people, aren't you? Like, you're just trying to open a door for people, whether they're male or female, and they want to ride a bike, and you're just saying, look, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's sad for your actual followers because you probably like to look through your comments to see like positive comments and to reply to your followers and fans that are genuine. And then you get the odd arsehole just dropping a bomb in there, and you just think, what the... Like, I get that.
Yeah. But sometimes the bomb is about something you can't help, like your skin colour or the way you look.
But it's like, but I think then people are just, I think if they've probably got a bit of a sad existence, or I don't know, I don't know what's going on in their life.
You know, when you've had a bad day and you come home and someone at home irritates you, but they don't mean to, but it's just because you've had a bad day. I feel like people who are constantly sad and having a bad day.
You pop up on social media like, right, she's getting it.
But why? They're following and looking, you know. That's
I know.
what...
I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to go on my social media, people I follow, and just start putting
But do you get
messages. I actually don't get much. If you crash with somebody, you get the wrath of their fan base versus the wrath. Me and Tommy Bridewell crashed together years ago.
Of course, yeah.
And it was literally like my fans v his fans. Like, I swear to God, it was like you could look in, if you looked in the paddock, you could just like, it'd be like a big like football fight. So because you have your fans who are like, mate, you didn't do that on purpose, like, we know who you are, blah, blah. And then you have his fans, you took him out. And obviously everything's been resolved since then, but you do get that. But Jake, I'm obviously like close with Jake, and I spoke to him about it, and he got a lot of hate stuff last year. He actually like turned
Jake Dixon?
he took his like Instagram off. He was like, I literally can't be bothered with this anymore. So his wife started doing it because, and we actually spoke about it in the first episode, because it's like, it's a bad place losing already, it's a bad place crashing, it's a lonely place, and then you look on your phone and you've got absolute just message after message, like negative comments, and it's just not needed, is it?
If you're not going to say it to someone in the flesh, don't say it at all. If you don't, if you won't like someone saying it to you or your brother or your sister or your wife, don't say it to them. Do you know what I mean? Some of the sexist comments, or some of the even nasty comments to men as well. You would never want your dad or your brother to experience that. Yeah,
so why should you just throw that on somebody? Most of these people, though, will delete their accounts, or they'll just be private with some silly picture so you can't see who they are.
Yeah, but
and then they'll be messaging you on another account. Are you all right? How you doing? I love your content.
Accounts, for your current like fake.
You just get like a picture of you like just flicking the bird. And like anyone that just sends horrible stuff, just literally DM them that picture. Yeah. Just be like,
hello.
Just be like swearing at her.
It's a shame about Jake Dixon, because I remember he was one of the coaches at James Whittam's school.
You wouldn't want to be coached by that guy.
He was so good.
He's dodgy, mate. You wouldn't want to ride behind him. He took me out nearly at one of the tracks. I was in front of him, and it was an actual competition.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess you have got to go through your mates if you need to. But
Jake Dixon.
Yeah.
Did he instruct?
Yeah. Did he instruct you then?
I'm sure he instructed me or my friend. That was literally 8 years ago.
All right, now please just tell us how useless he was, because I'd be so great for the podcast.
How he was?
How rubbish he was at instructing.
You guys are on another level. Like, you will never be rubbish to the average road rider. Trust me.
We can't be. We're not allowed to be.
Huh?
We're not allowed to be rubbish, because if we are, we don't get employed, do we? We have no job next year.
So maybe you guys have different kind of levels, but to us it's all like up there and we're down there. That's why I was actually quite surprised when you got in touch and said, let's do a podcast. Because I was like, you got shaky, you got this, you got... Where do I fit?
we're pushing the limits across everything, I've seen your social media, mate. You're a nutter.
Oh,
That's
thank
what
you.
I'm saying. And what's been your favourite bike? That BMotor thing you rode looked absolutely awesome.
Unbelievable.
It looked mega.
So that's actually probably the most exciting, the hardest bike to ride as well, in the sense that it's got the hub centre steering. It's got a front swing arm.
So hang on. So you don't steer like that very well, does it?
Side to side.
Does.
So very smooth.
Very smoothly. Yeah, okay.
But
the way the suspension is on it, or
it's got front and rear suspension. Both shocks are at the rear. It doesn't have front suspension.
That's what I saw. Yeah,
but
it looks
it's such a strange concept. But the advantages of not having the conventional forks. And the advantage of having the hub centre steering is that with the conventional forks, when you're at Donington Park and you're braking just before the first corner, right?
Yeah.
Right-hander. So you're braking, the forks, the front dips, you get more traction on the tyre, right?
Yeah.
But also, you can argue that conventional forks kind of can unsettle the bike a little bit, because the geometry changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When that
the weight's
dipping
being
happens,
moved into different
the
places,
wheelbase changes, right? But imagine you don't have conventional forks and you've just got hub centre steering, and then you've got a front swing arm. It means, and it's so strange to experience for the first time, because it means you brake, you're not dipping, right? There's no dipping on the front wheel.
Does it like lower itself, the whole bike, or
so? The whole bike, the front of the bike, if you're braking hard, it does dip, but the wheel doesn't dip. There's no weight transferred to the wheel.
That's so strange.
Do you know what I mean? So you can brake later, you can trail brake harder
Yeah.
than you would with conventional forks.
That you wouldn't trust it, would you? Either first lap, you'd be like, "Ugh," like you'd be braking like.
Yeah.
Well, I guess everything's feeling as well, isn't it? So you just be like, how does it feel? How does it feel?
One of the ways that I describe the feeling on this SEH2, there's another bike as well called the Virus. Do you remember the
Is
Virus?
that a motor? Oh no, the Virus is. I raced against it.
6RR,
Yeah.
600RR engine.
Didn't Phil Reed?
Huh?
Didn't Phil Reed race it?
I
Phil
think
Reed
someone did.
Junior at Bemsey. I raced against him on the
It's
400.
a similar concept.
Yeah, and it looked so strange. Yeah,
It does look very strange. It rides very strange, but you see, as you get to know it, you see the advantages of having that. And also, it's, what do you call it? The front kind of feels a little bit disconnected to the rest of the bike. Do you know what I mean by that? You know when you're steering, you're braking, everything, because it's all connected. Whereas on this SEH2, the suspension, the steering, and the steering are completely independent.
Yeah, it looks
Completely.
cool, but like I said, like the look of it, you look, oh, how could I ride that? But the fact of when you get on the bike and you feel like, with everything with motorbikes is feeling it, like you feel
sure.
what you feel is how
The
you
feedback
feel.
you get, yeah.
The feedback is important, and I think once you look like tipping into Redgate, you'd be like, oh, all right, feels good, right?
Yeah.
Try and go a bit harder. What has that been your favourite bike so far out of all your bikes?
The most, it's not mine.
But the bikes you've ridden.
I've ridden, yeah.
Yeah, is that like your
100%.
fave?
I
Yeah.
would say so, because it's got a H2 engine, which I'm a big fan of the H2 engine. That bike felt so familiar yet so alien, because the engine is so familiar, yet all the interesting engineering, everything's made of like billet, aluminium, and carbon, and the seat height is adjustable. It's just such a nice bike to ride, but very different. So that I would say that was like the highlight of riding press bikes. That was like the coolest, and it's 1 out of 250 in the world.
That's mad, yeah.
And it's got 240 as stock.
Oh my gosh, that was one of my questions as well in the quiz. You're literally so knowledgeable. You've literally answered my questions, my quiz questions. Now that's number 2.
Sorry, man.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna have to be a bit harder. We'll have to get you back on, and I'll go a bit harder with the
Tell me
quiz
to shut up.
questions.
Yeah.
Because the quiz is really hard to put together, because it's like I always try and sit like different guests have different knowledge of what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this really a super hard question? And I think I wouldn't know the answer.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the quiz later. But
so after the SH2, the Rocket 3.
What's that then? Is
the
that
Rocket 3R? It's a 2.5 litre triple engine.
Bimotor again?
A Triumph, sorry.
A Triumph, yeah.
It's a hyper cruiser.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah.
Right, 2.5 litre. Imagine you've got around 2.5 triple, so much torque. But it's 2.5 litre, right? It's bigger than most cars you see around you. And it's got like 221 newton meter of torque and 160 brake horsepower. It is one of the fastest bikes you'll ever ride. And it looks like a cruiser. You think it's an old man's bike.
Is it like a cruiser? Yeah. I've not actually seen that model yet.
It's more of a muscle, hyper muscle.
Is that where you was a few days ago doing like a Triumph? Was that the Triumph thing you was doing a few days ago? I saw on your social media you was away like doing a Triumph thing recently. Was that one?
Last Triumph thing I did. Oh, are you talking about DGR?
Well, yeah, it was like a smartly dressed. Everyone was smartly dressed.
That was Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, which is a charity ride that raises money for prostate cancer charity and Movember charity. Cool. But no, that bike that they revealed in the special limited edition for DGR was a Bonneville 1200, I believe.
Sweet, yeah.
No, the Rocket 3 is a mad bike. Look it up after.
I will, yeah.
Because you'll probably like
never even knew about that.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know about this. I ride motorbikes, so I don't know. Yeah, he's like that. But
that's my next bike.
Is that your next bike?
Yeah.
What are you going to swap in for? Or are you just going to add it to the game?
I'd like to think that I want to add it, right? I'd like to think that would happen, but it's not like it is quite pricey, but it's something that is different to the 3 sports bikes that I have. So I've wanted to add something that's not super sport, probably a super naked or a hyper naked or a muscle.
Yeah.
Hyper muscle like that.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd have. If you said to me like, you pick one bike, what would it be on the road?
It wouldn't be sports, I feel, because you ride sport all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go years ago on like an old Harley.
Right.
I don't know. I like the cross between like a Harley and like a sports bike, but I don't really know.
Hey, that's a Rocket 3.
Is that a Rocket 3?
It's the sportiest cruiser. You sat like a cruiser.
So you sat comfortably, but you've got a little bit of power and get you out of trouble if you need to.
And the amazing thing about the Rocket 3 that they come from factory restricted to 60% throttle. So when the warranty is lifted, you can remap it
I have a feeling
and just
you was
have it
gonna
run
say
how
that.
it's meant to.
I have a feeling you was going to say as soon as it would come, I would take the de-restrictor out as such restrictor.
You have to de-restrict
Yeah.
it. But I've never ridden one that's de-restricted because they've
Yeah.
all been from Triumph. They've all been
Oh,
like from
okay.
factory.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the thought of having 40% more throttle just is mind-blowing.
Was it mad already with the 60%? Was it nuts?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The power is there instantly. I had like a couple of drag races with a couple of my friends who have like Aprilias and S1000
Yeah.
RRs. Off the line, it
See,
destroys them.
Yeah. Up to 70 mile an hour and then everyone just rolls
Yeah,
off.
and it still does 140, 150,
Yeah.
unrestricted.
That's mad, isn't it?
Mad.
That's the thing with bikes, because on the road you can literally like 70 mile an hour. Most bikes would do that in second gear, wouldn't they? Like most,
Yeah, most
and it, like
midweight
just
bikes.
like not even touching the power.
Yeah.
I actually
love that.
have a story. I rode out of like my mum and dad's got a farm, and I was going out on a track day the next day, Donington Park, funny enough.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to test the bike because quick shifter was working. And I literally just got it out, chucked some gloves on, helmet on, whatever, rode out the road. And
Yeah.
I literally, looking down, shift, like went around this car, went around this other car. But in my head, I was literally as calm as I am now. I was like, yeah, around that car. Oh, I'm doing 75. And I was like, right, turned around and went back. And I was like, I was just doing 75 mile an hour there, and I weren't even switched on. I was literally just focusing on the shifter. And I just went round to, like, it's nuts, isn't it? Like the power of the bikes these days and how easy they do it.
Yeah, but also I think modern bikes get criticised for just, they're doing all the work for you. They're packed out with like traction control, cornering ABS.
Why would you not want that anyway on a bike?
You have to.
I know, but why would you
The
not
bike
want
will
it?
be
It's mad,
unrideable, right? If you have 200, like the new M1R, the new M1000R, it has 210 brake horsepower
mad.
for the road. You need something,
It's
you
mad.
know.
Yeah.
I think that mentality of you've got too many electronics, you're not riding a proper bike.
Oh
yeah,
my
going back
gosh.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
the brake horsepower it's not touching what it is now.
Yeah, I'll just
know what I
say, are you up to date with what these bikes are, mate? If anyone ever said to me, oh yeah, but you've got this and you've got that on it, I'd literally say, first of all, BSB, we don't have any electronics, mate.
Yeah.
Second of all, these bikes, where are you living? Where have you been living for 15 years? They need they need it. Like,
Can I ask you, do you not have anything at
no
all?
electrical aids, no. So all we can change on the BSB bike is, so they have like different power maps. So if you got like a standard road bike to what we race,
Yeah.
let's say using first gear at a corner, picking up the throttle, it would be less power. They would put like 60-70% of the power in, and then they sort of blend it up to 100. So when you're full length over, you've not got like, they call it 1-to-1.
Right.
So that it's not as aggressive.
Yeah.
So they make the power rideable. So with our bikes, let's say they're 230 horsepower, you can then manipulate where that power goes. A lot of times we're taking power out of the bike to make sure that we can get a long race distance out the tyre, because it might be good for a lap, but you take so much rubber off the tyre, doing that, like let's say around Silverstone for 30 laps, you just end up with no tyre at the end. So it's a real compromise of, is there enough power in the bike that I'm not losing speed in a straight line? Is there too much power in the bike that I'm now wasting tyre? So when we go around like free practice 1, free practice 2, we're kind of just trying to get a bit of a kind of, not a base setting, but a balance for the weekend, really, where we've got a bike we can qualify well on. Because again, in qualifying, you ride in the bike differently because you're trying to get that one perfect lap. Whereas a race, you're just trying to go around consistently at a pace. So that's why a lot of people just, like you see like a lot of ins and outs and all that. And
what about traction control?
Nothing. No, we don't have nothing. So it's all in the hand. Yeah, it's all like, So when it's wet, it's carnage.
And that's throughout all BSB races?
Yeah, all BSB. Super stock have the stock ECUs, or their kit ECUs. So you've got traction and anti-wheelie and stuff on them. But they have standard swing arms. So again, because we have a good swing arm on the bike, it's kind of, when the power's being delivered, instead of like a softer swing arm with loads of flex, this has got quite a lot of,
so it's
stiffer.
Plants it.
Yeah, and it sort of gives you the grip off the turn.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to one day get an opportunity to ride a race bike and you'll love it, honestly. Like if you get to ride a proper BSB bike,
I've only ever ridden a Thundersport race bike.
Yeah, when you ride a BSB race bike, they turn
terrifying.
No, you wouldn't be terrified. You'd be really pleasantly surprised. They're quite stiff and not like a road bike.
Rigid.
Yeah, they're really rigid, but everything.
Responsive.
Yeah, everything you do, like it just drops in. Like
Wow.
and before you know it, you're on your knee, and like the brakes are really sharp. And
Wow.
from that to like a MotoGP bike would be.
Could you imagine? I've only ever been on a Pillion on a MotoGP bike.
That's more than I've never been on.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
With Randy Mamola, or
Yeah.
that must have been an exciting.
It's
Because he's nuts, isn't he? And that bike's built for Pillion. They've actually like got it all balanced out for Pillion.
Yeah, you have like a hump between
I've
you and the
seen
racer.
I've seen it.
And then you got the bar.
That was sick. Right, Ruby, track review. This is the section of the podcast. Again, I haven't got a really fancy name for it, which I feel like I need. But it's basically just for the listeners. Tell us your favourite track. I jumped in earlier off air and said Donington Park and just assumed that you loved that, but I'm going to let you actually answer.
Well, yeah, Donington Park is one of my favourite tracks just because it's wide, it's long, it's beautiful, it's flowy.
Yeah.
But also, I am obsessed with Mallory Park. It was my first track day there.
That hairpin is nasty, isn't it?
I love it.
The
I
curve,
love chasing my
the curve's
toes.
like 4 foot.
It took me like 9 years to get down to like 107. 1 minute 7 seconds, and it took a lot of hard work and training and investment into my track bike at the time, which was a 5-blade, and I had a lot of coaching from Steve Brogan as well. So
sorry, you can't say his name on this podcast. I'm joking, you can. It's all right, I know Steve.
He's a great coach.
But it's so funny because we were talking earlier about the obsession of like, and every time you go there now, you're like, right, I need to get to 107 and now I need to go past 107. And it's funny, isn't it? And it becomes like an obsession, even though you don't want it to be. It's kind of like if you was into running and you did like a 40-minute 10K or 35-minute 10K, you just, every time you go out, you want to beat it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, is it? Some days are good, some days are bad. Do you ever find you just have a day where you're just riding off?
100%.
And you're like, oh, why am I here?
Today he was off.
When you was going, I saw you just doing laps of London.
Did you see me?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I could imagine you just kept riding past. Like, I'm just enjoying riding. I ain't going podcasting.
One bridge, another bridge, because some of the roads were sharp. But yeah, some days are worse than others for sure. And I think it's to do a lot. It's nothing to do with the bike.
Mental.
It's mental.
Yeah.
Your mood, your physical health, just your mental health.
Week you've had. If you've had a really bad week, a really good week, it all goes like that.
Yeah.
That's quite a hard thing actually with racing, and you always try and get yourself into like a consistent thing, like personally, like you just like consistently deal with things, and just to try and get yourself in that mood where you can't be affected going to a race.
Yeah.
Because again, if you like imagine like if you're Mrs. Split Up with me or something like that, it'd have such a big impact on your race weekend that you have to. I've had 2 babies on race weekends. Well, I haven't personally had 2
While
babies.
you were racing?
Yeah, my wife was in hospital. Yeah.
Both times?
Yeah, one was on a Thursday night, one was on a Friday night. Yeah.
Wow.
That's mad.
Must,
Friday morning, sorry. Yeah, it was mad.
How did that impact
I know,
you?
it was mental. Like trying to ride to, like, I drove to the track like after my first, and I was like, oh my God, I'm a dad, I'm a dad, I'm a dad.
That was the
like,
first one?
Oh my God, I'm a dad, I'm a dad. Yeah, I couldn't, it was the weirdest thing. And then the second one, Brody, he was born on the Thursday night. And I remember getting to Brands at midnight on that Friday, on the Thursday, sorry, because I had to ride Friday morning.
Straight after he was born?
Yeah, and I literally rode and then went back to the hospital, back to the track, back to the hospital, back to the track, because he had to stay in for a while. Yeah, mad.
That's mad.
I know. So I've, oh my God, I've completely gone over this now. Look, most memorable moment of the track.
Well, for you, your children were born on track.
I know. Brands actually is mine, but it's because of them. But what about you? Your most memorable moment? Would it be like busting your 107, getting your fastest lap around Mallory Park? Is that your most memorable moment there?
But also crashing at Cadwell. That was memorable.
Yeah, that was a good, yeah.
That made me stop riding track for a bit because I was just like, it put me off for a bit, but I managed to kind of get back to it and it's fine.
You probably got unlucky there as well, because like where you said you crashed, it's quite a thump. Like, do you know, like where when you going a bit faster and you have a little crash, like if you go a bit faster and tuck the front, you normally just slide and you're all right.
Yeah.
But you know when you have them little ones where you just hit the deck, they hurt so much because you're not prepared for them.
You're not prepared.
And it's like, ouch.
And if the grass was dry, I would have not crashed. I wouldn't have crashed.
Yeah, 100%. Because the grass and like slick tyres and wet grass.
It was super courses. They were cut slicks, but yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
There ain't no grip on them.
No.
And what's your favourite part of the track that you chose, Mallory? What's your favourite part?
Gerrard's.
Just
you
keep
can overtake
going.
people.
Yeah, just keep going round. Yeah.
I love Gerrard's. And I can get my knee down there as well.
Yeah, it's a nice track actually, isn't it?
I love that. Have you done it much? I'm sure.
I've done it fair few times, yeah. I didn't enjoy it much when I raced it, but when you're younger, you associate the results you have at a track with whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I didn't have very good results there,
Right.
so I never really clicked with it. But I'm sure if I went there now, like as a grown up, let's say, I'd probably
approach it differently.
yeah.
like
And if
you
we
said.
had to race it, you just race it. So
They used to race at BSB
Yeah.
as well, didn't they?
I think they used to
Back in the day,
Yeah,
yeah.
they used to, but they used to have the through Gerrard's. They used to have another chicane,
Yeah. I
so
know.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because you used to go
imagine
through
that.
turn one, then like stop through
Yeah.
chicane, then accelerate off
But
again.
also the Edwinas used to be Edwinas and then a straight. There wasn't that
that's-
runoff.
Yeah, that would be mad, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But with Mallory, the reason I love it is that it's quite challenging to kind of scrub off seconds
Yeah.
of your
Because
time.
it's a small track as well.
It's
Yeah.
a small track. It's quite challenging on a litre bike because it's more of a 600, even 400,
Definitely.
250 circuit,
Definitely
right?
a beast on a 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's challenging for the more advanced riders, but it's also friendly enough for the beginners,
yeah.
right? Because it's 1.3 miles.
Yeah.
It's
small,
so short,
Yeah.
you can learn it like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it. I think it's just such a cool little track.
What's the last question? Any tips for any track days going? Any track day riders going there? Any tips
for track
a track rider? Yeah. So say someone was coming up saying, right, I'm going Mallory Park. What's your tip? Ruby's top tip of the day at Mallory Park.
Let me have a think. If it's your first time,
Yeah.
I would say go at your own pace and slowly build up that kind of slowly build up your speed and slowly build up your confidence around the circuit. It's actually the reason why it's my favourite circuit is that it's easy to kind of build up the pace.
Yeah.
So just take your time and go with a friend or two that can kind of help you and encourage you and be a positive impact as opposed to just on your own. It's better to have people around you to kind of give you tips and guide you through it.
Yeah, on your own on the track days, horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just not as fun.
No, I think so. Yeah,
and you got to make it fun, right?
But you end up meeting loads of people there, don't you? Like people are quite
Yeah.
friendly and open.
Yeah,
Like, oh
true.
yeah, come on, you have a coffee. Oh, is that your bike?
Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah. And you end
yeah.
up like having that sort of. Yeah, that's quite cool. And so the women only track days, and is that something you're quite passionate about pushing in the future? Like a bit more of that. Have you got much planned for this season, like 2023, in the way of
women track day? I've never actually done a ladies track day.
No.
But I just encourage women to just do a track day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just go and do it.
Go and do it. Yeah. But going back to Mallory as well. Sorry, I've just remembered one of a tip is to if you can invest in tyre warmers. I think that can
that's nice.
help with grip, right? And if you can get an instructor from the track day company, or if you just know someone who's a good rider that can instruct you around track, that can help.
Show you some lines. Just the lines are a
Yeah.
big thing, aren't they? Once you figure out the lines, you can figure out where to brake. You can figure out tyre pressures and tyre warmers. That'd be such a nice thing to have on the first track day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think I'd say before having coaching with Steve Brogan, for example, I think my time was 1-2 something.
Yeah, okay.
How embarrassing is that? But then
Not embarrassing. No, you will start
I
somewhere.
was just such a snail. But as soon as I had Steve Brogan on a James Wisham day, I booked him again and again, and my time just went.
Yeah, just that consistency thing, innit? And it's like there's so many little things you do as a racer that you don't know to like the general public how hard that is to do. Let's say.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that you can do, and it's just like time just can fall away. Like when you start, even like the way you brake, like we were just talking about the trail brake, like getting that right, getting the feeling right of what's a trail brake, how am I trail braking? It's that sort of thing there, and it's really hard to get that information from a racer to like build a bridge to somebody that hasn't ridden a track before, and it's like a real
it's a skill.
It's a skill to get that across.
Brogan is really good at that.
Yeah, he done well. So that's what's the target lap time? Very Mallory for you.
I'd love to get to a minute.
Yeah.
Some of my friends do a minute, sub-minute, just a little bit.
Sub-minute would be
but
mad.
a minute I'll be happy with, because 8 seconds, 7 seconds is a lot to scrub off.
Yeah.
And I've not ridden it for a year or so. So
are you going to do some track day in this year?
I've got one planned soon in April with one of my sponsors. They're organising a big track day, so I'll be there. And hopefully throughout the year as well, I'll just jump on any opportunity that I can do track, because I do love riding track. I think it makes you a more skilled and a better rider. It just
it's more aware, like on the roads and stuff. Does it make you more aware, or does it?
It's not about aware. I'll tell you, because obviously you haven't got cars and other people on the track. What it teaches you more than anything is, for a road rider, is what your bike is capable of. So it makes you less scared of your bike and you're more familiar with it because you're pushing it more than you are on the road, because the surface is nice. Everything is like well marked and well surfaced. There's no people crossing. There's no cars. So you learn how to push yourself, pushing the limits.
Yeah, pushing the limits.
Pushing the limits of the bike in a safe, relatively safe environment, right? You've got ambulances there.
So much safer on the road.
So much safer. So you learn your bike and you learn your own potential. So you become more confident, you become more capable, and you're just a better rider on the road.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend, one of the tips as well is, if you want to do a track day, go for it, because actually I get sometimes messages saying, do you think I've ridden for enough years to do track? Actually, you should do track to become a better rider on the road, not the other way around.
Yeah, and literally, guys, like if you're listening and you're thinking about going on a track day, there are no limitations to how fast you can, how fast or slow you can be, is there? Like,
that's why I have different groups.
Yeah, and you're not going to go on a track with, if you're, let's say, doing a 3-minute lap at Snetterton, they're not going to put you on track with somebody who's doing 1-minute 50s. Like, it's, every track day company is so well run these days because of the insurances, they have to be. And it, like, so if you are thinking about going on a track day, like, please go and do it, because you will start at the bottom and you will just see that confidence, won't you?
Yeah.
Because there's people that ride around and might get 2 laps in a session. There's some that might get 10 laps in a session, but you just equally are getting that time on the track.
100%.
And I keep doing that because it's like you keep going around the track like I'm cleaning the desk.
Yeah.
But it's just time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Time on the bike. And
Time on the
like you
bike.
said, I guess I can really see how that does transfer to the road, because like you say, you understand that feeling of, oh, I'm braking a bit too hard, or like, I understand that sort of awareness. You become more aware with your bike of how the bike's reacting to what
and
you're
how capable
doing.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road bikes are mad. Like, I
You
had to
grow
go-
your trust in the brakes
Yeah.
and you understand how well it handles. You learn the bike better.
And the
for
lean
sure.
angle, you're like, I can't go that far. Oh, I'm down that far. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
and they're
can't believe-
designed to be lent, right?
I
These
know.
sports bikes, they're
Road
designed
bikes
for
are
that.
mad. Like, I had to
Yeah.
go on a standard bike, like in Spain for a few days recently, and it just had suspension put in it. It was an S1000 RR, like the new one.
Yeah,
And it was last year's M1000 RR.
yeah.
And standard, I can't believe the power and the way they handle. Literally, we had like front suspension and back suspension in, and then that was it. And fairings, like race, like
Was it on
track
road
day
or track?
fairings.
Was it on track?
Yeah. And I just couldn't
Wow.
believe the limits you can ride the bike to as a standard bike. And they're only getting better, aren't they? Like all bikes, like not just the BMW. Like say, like there's a lot of different bikes out
And
there.
there's a lot of competition now, I feel, between manufacturers.
Definitely.
To do the better and the bigger. Everyone's doing wings. Like you see,
Yeah.
with, like you mentioned, the H2, they were the first to do it. Everyone, Aprilia do it, BMW do it.
Honda have got their like slight
Ducati. And Honda on the
inverted
5-blade.
wing, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, on the 5-blade, they've got massive wings on the new 5-blade.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing it. And I just love seeing the competition between them every single day. They're releasing. BMW have been on it
I
in
know
the last
Aero
2-3 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Not just the wings, just releasing mad bikes. M1000RR. It's got the S1000RR engine, but in a naked body.
Have you ridden one yet?
Yeah.
Have you ridden the new M1000
Yes.
yet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
In Spain last November.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
M1000R.
Yeah.
That was...
You enjoy it?
It's, you got 210 brake horsepower. It's just mind-blowing that you can have that on such a light bike. I think maybe 190 kgs.
They're mad, aren't they? Yeah.
And razor-sharp handling is how I can describe the M1000R.
I had 164 in fourth gear out of it the other down the limiter, because I know that because I was literally like brrr on the limiter and at Almeria, and it was 164, and I was like, this is. And then I started playing the game of how fast
Kilometers.
it was. Miles an hour, 164.
Brilliant,
Because I was literally like, right, this has become a game now. How fast can I have out of fourth gear?
You maxed it
Because
out.
fifth gear, and it was just like on the limit, and I was like, that was part of the game I was playing where I was like, right, let's see what 100 mile an hour feels like, and I was like, doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
If you do 100 mile an hour in a car, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, not that I've ever done that in a dangerous place at all, but it feels fast.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the quiz that you've ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. The quiz that you've ruined because you've answered 2 questions already before that, but we
Sorry
won't
about that.
talk about that. It's fine. So we'll. I've not got a good name for this either. It just says quiz, which is a little bit boring. But anyway,
Quiz.
it just says quiz. And who is the fastest female around the Isle of Man TT?
Jenny Tidman.
See, I'm going to make this next time harder. This is the next one as well you've ruined. How much does the Kawasaki H2 weigh?
240, but it's lighter. The H2R weighs, I think, 220, but the H2 weighs 240. 238, sorry, 238 kgs.
238, yeah. That's what I had there. So I just Googled that. So that must be, yeah. How tall is Taron McKenzie?
I met Taron. He's
This
not
is
that
brilliant.
tall.
No, he's not.
I'm going to say 5'5".
He's 5'5". Wow, you're on it. I say it because I asked him on the way up here. I said, right, I'm putting together a quiz. I had already done a couple of questions, but I wanted to add a few more. And I said, how tall are you? And he wrote 6 foot.
You ain't 6 foot, Taron.
5'5". And this is how many Bimota Tessie H2 carbons have they made?
250.
Oh, you've ruined it. What's the capital of Australia?
Not Sydney.
I just threw this random out there. I'm sick of asking motorbike questions now. I'm just going to throw random questions at my guests.
Not Melbourne.
No.
Not Adelaide.
No. It's a random one. Begins with a K. No, it begins with a C.
But a C as in K?
Yeah.
Kalali.
Canberra.
Wow.
I know, that's a tricky one, that one, isn't it? It got me, stumped me, but I'm not very...
That's so embarrassing. I'm good with geography.
I'm not at all. That's why I race bikes. Again, I wasn't very good at anything like that. So I was like, wow, I can ride motorbikes quite quickly. And then to finish up, what would you say to any woman who is thinking about doing a track day? They want to do a track day. What do I do? What would you say to them?
I would say go and book it. Because you can book it and then you can start worrying about all the things that you're worrying about. So you can have it booked there and you're giving yourself a deadline to prepare for track. So you got your 1-piece suit or 2-piece that zip up. You've got, if you can get paddock stand and actually first track day, not a big deal if you don't have like tire warmers.
Yeah.
If you know someone that wants to go with you, that would be good because it's just company. You feel more comfortable. And straight away after briefing, speak to the people in charge and ask them for an instructor. But book it.
Yeah, book it. 100%.
Worst comes to worst, you don't go, you know.
Yeah, book it, because I feel people have such a the stigma around anxiety with things like that. You'd be like, you'd think more about not booking it because of how scared you would be rather than just doing it.
Yeah,
wouldn't you? I think the first stage, if you can just book it and then go right, and then once they get there, you'll probably actually laugh at yourself, won't you? Going,
exactly.
What was I even worried about this, or why was I worried about that? Like,
I always say as well, like on track, there's more risk. There's more chance of you crashing on the road than there is on track. The track is built for speed. The tarmac quality is better. There's no one around you. You're all going in the right direction, in one direction. And there's different groups.
Exactly.
So, there's 3 or 4 groups sometimes. So you can just kind of start where you feel comfortable and build it up to a more advanced level. But there's no rush to do anything. It's not a race. No, exactly. And that's it. You are your own person out there and 100%. You can just do yourself. Yeah, just ride round. Even though you can do any speed you want, there's still rules. You can't undertake and overtake, but you can't do, there's a lot of things that you're not allowed to do, like, I don't know, wheeling or just riding like an idiot. Yeah, it's not like a place of just hooliganism. Exactly. Is it? Like everyone just goes, it's just you have to be respectful of other people and their property. So it's not a scary place. Like, I think when you've never been, you think it's that scary place where everyone's just going really fast. But actually, it's the best place to learn how to ride a bike. And I know people that only ride track and not road because they just learn so much and they just enjoy riding on track because it's safer and more pleasant. I can see that. And I can see the attraction to being like, do you know what, I don't even want to ride on the road anymore. Like, you got matey who's had a few beers, or there's someone there who's stressed out from their day at work. There's someone who's been driving all night. Like, there's a lot of different people on the road, and it's a dangerous place, isn't it? 100%, yeah. You're more likely to kill yourself on the road. And you hear about people, crashing badly on the road more so than you do on track. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for having me, Danny. It's been a pleasure. It's been great talking to you. Yeah. I'll probably no doubt see you at some of the racetracks. Yeah, well, hopefully see you this weekend. Yeah, I'll look out for you. I'll be at the front somewhere in the race, winning. But yeah, it's been great. It's been great insight into motorsport, obviously, and your journey. So thank you for that. Thank you so much, Danny. Pleasure. Cheers, guys. Check the socials, do all that stuff that you do. Keep up to date with our next guest, and thanks for tuning in. Boom, Danny, what a ride!